And so joining us on the news is Isaiah Davis Ejele. He's a convener of Concerned Kogi Citizens. Isaiah, thank you so much for joining us. We're pressed for time, so let's get started. I want to ask first, why are the residents of Kogi State protesting in Abuja despite the election tribunal having issued its final verdict?
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me. And I want to say this, that the judgment of the tribunal is a miscarriage of judgment. That is not the judgment. In fact, they contradicted their own judgment. And may I tell you this, that even the so-called APC that they gave judgment in their favor, said to quote, also cross-appeal the judgment. That is to tell you that there is a fundamental issues that they refuse to address. The issue of BVAS can never succumb to any technicalities. It is like you changing your identity or somebody denying you of your identity or of who you are. The function of BVAS, according to INEC, is for accreditation. Professor Mahmood said it in the Chatham House in London that BVAS has come to stay.
I'm glad you're mentioning the BVAS. I'm glad you're mentioning it because I want you to be specific, right? Be specific on the allegations of fraud involving the BVAS, right? That protesters are making. I want you to be very specific. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Now, Professor Mahmood said this, and that gave everybody hope. All the Nigerian youths came out massively. You are a journalist, do your finding. Almost 80% of the Nigerian youth are PVC owners for 2023 general election, because of the hope that now we have the authority and power to the people to elect our own. But unfortunately, in the presidential election, it is even a bit fair. It is the problem of the presidential election was non-transmission of the result from the polling unit. But as for Kogi election, it is a pure scam and fraud, where you will have accreditation in a polling unit 200, and the total vote of that polling unit is 2,000. Accreditation 100. Total number of vote cast at the same polling unit 1,000. Who manufactured the difference? Now, let me tell you this categorically and to be specific. Professor Johnson Uramba from UNN is the returning officer for Kogi State, a professor. Him being a professor, when he was to tally all the results from each local government to call for final result, he never exceeded the total number of accreditation according to him. Did he really find out if those accreditation he called are really at the accreditation as recorded in the BVAS from those polling units? If he do not exceeded the accreditation from those polling units, from Kogi State as a general accredited voters, how then will he exceeded calling extra or overvoting of each polling unit? That is a fraud. We have all these things tendered before the tribunal. The tribunal adopted all evidences we presented. Now let me shock you. The person that came as an INEC, that is the PW1, is an INEC official, is an INEC staff, is an INEC engineer, expert that was sent, summoned by the court to produce their representative to demonstrate the BVAS.
Right.
We ventilated each of the polling units in court.
Isaiah, I hate to cut you because we're pressed for time, right? One of the accusations you just made now is electoral malpractice, right? So how is the Election Transparency Advocacy Coalition responding to these accusations, especially of electoral malpractice in the Kogi State governorship polls?
How you even give such people a forum to talk to us, or even to, I'm disappointed that you can even mention such people's name. One barrister Nwoke and one barrister. All these are Igbo names. These are people from the east. These are people that are looking for what to eat.
Yeah, but
are they Kogi State? No, are they feeling our pains?
Yeah, but are they not Nigerians?
If anybody will,
Are they not Nigerians? So are you saying that because they are not indigenous of the state or from Kogi State?
The polling unit. We are talking of people speaking from the polling unit. We are talking of the result on INEC.
Because you just mentioned tribe. So I need to ask a question. Does that tribe disqualify them from talking about the elections and saying that it was fair?
How can they call the election fair? Because I want to know where is their polling unit. Let them tell us who their polling unit.
So this isn't about tribe.
Saying that the election, we are talking with evidence. Let them bring the evidence why the election is transparent. Let them give us the evidence. Why? How do they know that the election is transparent? We are the polling unit with evidence telling you that accreditation is 200 in polling unit A and the total number of vote cast is 2,000. If they have anything contrary to that, they should bring it. We're not talking about technicality. We're not talking about any stories or no story from nowhere. We are not talking about talk and bush stories. We are talking about reality.
Isaiah,
on the BVAS. BVAS was displayed at the court.
Isaiah,
the same.
Isaiah, you just mentioned, you were saying the recommendations that they made. I want you to be clear. What actions are being recommended by this group, which is the Election Transparency Advocacy Coalition, to promote unity and development in Kogi State? Because they said, let's move past this. It's clear, but I need you to be certain. What actions are they recommending?
My group or the so-called transparent.
The transparency.
Only what they are saying. My group.
No, the Election Transparency Advocacy Coalition.
They could not recommend anything. All they are telling us, Nigeria, that everything is now okay, that INEC have come to stay, don't defraud, don't blackmail INEC. Shame on them.
So what is your group recommending?
You see?
And what is your group recommending? As concerned Kogi citizens.
Instantly, see, my dear, professors have failed Nigeria. INEC is not just a building, and INEC is not a paper. There are people saddled with the responsibility of giving us a free and fair election. The returning officers that are assigned by INEC to each state could not conduct a credible election, and many Nigerians are complaining. You see what is happening in Kenya? It will be a child play if INEC continue to manipulate this system. And we are calling on Nigerians and on the House of Assembly, the Senate, the majority leaders, and the upper and lower chamber to enforce the rule of law, to enforce the accreditation process that was brought into Nigeria electoral system to give us hope so that we can trust the system all over again. Otherwise, Edo will be a child play. Listening to this, Edo people reject professor. It is better that bring us a Babalawo from Okija shrine and swear by the oath of his shrine that if you rig the election, you should not go back home safely. It is better they give us Ogun worshippers. It is better they give us Obatala worshippers. It is better they train a mechanic on the roadside, train a transport driver to be a returning officer instead of professors. Professors have failed us. A professor that will come out plus 120 is not a professor. To say this, we need to change that institution. They don't have the monopoly to be only the one to represent and be the returning officer.
Isaiah, I have to let you go. We're running out of time, but thank you so much for coming on. Isaiah Ejile there, he is the convener of Concerned Kogi Citizens. Many thanks for doing this with us.